Robocop was a movie most Gen Xers remember from the 80s. With futuristic sci-fi action, it would prove to be a surprise hit and even spawn a few sequels. Set in the near future in a dystopian Detroit, the film follows a police officer who is brutally murdered in the line of duty only to be brought back to life by an evil corporation as a cyborg police officer. Although the film was released 34 years ago, many of the ideas the film touches on are still relevant today. And with its talented cast, the movie still holds up 3 decades later. In this video, we are going to take a look at the cast of Robocop 1 and 2, then and now. Before we get into this one, please take a few seconds and smash that subscribe button, give us a like, and tickle that bell icon. It takes only a few seconds of your time in exchange for a lifetime of our gratitude. Robocop takes place at an unspecified time in the future in Detroit, a city where gang terror rules. There has been a series of brutal cop killings. A big corporation wants to market the robot cops to stamp out crime, but the prototype model, called the ED-209, malfunctions during a demonstration and brutally executes an executive. A junior scientist thinks he knows a better way to make a policeman by combining robotics with a human brain, and he gets his chance when a hero cop named Alex Murphy, played by Peter Weller, is killed in the line of duty. Well, not quite killed. Something remains, and around that human core, the first Robocop is constructed. A half-man, half-machine that operates with perfect logic, except for the shreds of human spontaneity and intuition that may be lurking somewhere in the background of its memory. The rest of the movie follows Robocop, or Alex Murphy, on a quest to solve his murder and bring down the evil corporation responsible for him being transformed into a cyborg. He must track Clarence Boddicker, the leader of the gang of thugs that brutally murders him at the beginning of the film. The film touches nicely on the dangers of corporations and crime run amok, as well as adding the human element as we experience the heartache Robocop is going through as he remembers his wife and son in his life before he was murdered. In 1990, the sequel titled Robocop 2 would be released, and although not as good as the first, the film was still a hit, mostly due to the popularity of the first installment. In Robocop, Peter Weller reprises his role as Murphy, the cyborg cop with a heart of gold, as he is the only police officer left in the city after the Detroit police force goes on strike. Murphy must battle against evil conglomerate Omni Consumer Products and its push to foreclose on the city of Detroit. Aside from dealing with the normal level of crime, Murphy must take on crime boss Kane, played by Kane Noonan, the spread of a dangerous new drug called Nuke, and the attempt by psychologist Dr. Juliet Fax, played by Belinda Bauer, to create another Robocop using a hardened criminal. Both films boast an all-star cast, and some of the actors would go on to do other memorable movies and TV shows and become stars in their own right. This video will give you an update on some of the actors from both films, as we take a look at them then and now. First up, we will take a look at the gorgeous Nancy Allen, who portrayed Murphy's loyal partner. Nancy Allen, Officer Ann Lewis. Officer Ann Lewis was the partner to both Alex Murphy and Robocop. She went above and beyond the call of duty to protect his life and preserve his humanity. Lewis was played by Nancy Allen, who went on to co-star in the 2 sequels to Robocop. She would also make appearances on such television shows as Touched by an Angel, the reboot to The Outer Limits, and The Comish in 1995. She also appeared as Helen White on the TV show Judging Amy and Christine Ogden in the TV series The Division. Nancy Allen has retired from acting, with her last roles in the long-running television show Law & Order Special Victims Unit in 2003, and the film My Apocalypse, co-starring Corin Nemec and John Delancey. Things slowed for Allen after that, but she has narrated 2 documentaries, one called Bound by Flesh, released in 2012, and In the Search of Darkness, Part 2, released in 2020. Next up, let's take a look at everyone's favorite sitcom dad, Curtwood Smith, better known as Red Foreman. Curtwood Smith, Clarence Boddicker. Robocop had many adversaries in the film. He frightened his fellow police officers. His creators at OCP sought to control him, and the gang that killed him the first time wants to do it again. However, none of the villains were as cruel and sadistic as Clarence Boddicker. Verhoeven cast Smith as Boddicker partially due to his resemblance to Nazi Heinrich Himmler. Which is Smith more famous for? His role in Robocop or playing Reginald Red Foreman on That 70s Show? He was also Senator Blaine Mayer on 24, the voice of Commissioner Gordon on Beware the Batman, and Vernon Masters on Agent Carter. Smith can be heard as the voice of Angry Old Raisin in Pig Goat Banana Cricket. He is still active today, doing voice work on TV shows such as Star Trek Lower Decks and Rick and Morty. He has also had cameo appearances on Suits, The Ranch, and F is for Family, as well as a recurring role on Resurrection. Now we take a look at one of the stars from the Robocop sequel, namely Tom Noonan, who would go on to make a name for himself in Hollywood following Robocop 2. Tom Noonan, Kane. Noonan portrays the unforgettable Kane, who is a drug kingpin and homicidal maniac pushing a new drug called Nuke. Kane is hell-bent on running the city's underworld, but is stopped by Murphy. While Kane is in a coma, Dr. Fax puts his brain into a new prototype Robocop and assumes she can control him via his addiction to Nuke. But of course, she is wrong, and Kane goes on a killing spree, with the only hope of stopping him being Murphy. Noonan would go on to do numerous movies and TV shows, often playing the quirky guy or the killer. He has been pretty much inactive since 2018, and there is not much more info to go on about the actor. Now we will take a look at Kane's adolescent partner in crime, Hobb. Hobb was a 12-year-old aspiring criminal who is a devout follower of Kane the drug lord. Gabriel Damon. Hobb. Damon portrays Hobb, who is one of the followers of the fanatical drug lord Kane. He is cunning, ruthless, and devious. But what's disturbing about him is that he's just a 12-year-old kid. Damon leaves little doubt in the sheer evil his character embodies, making the audience hate him despite his youthful appearance. Damon's career began with appearances in numerous commercials, with his first role in the 1984 TV series Call to Glory. He voiced Littlefoot the Apatosaurus in the first The Land Before Time movie, and Little Nemo in Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland. In 1990, he appeared as the juvenile criminal Hobb in Robocop 2, and 1992 as Spot Conlon in Newsies. Damon has also made guest appearances in television series such as ER, Call to Glory, Star Trek The Next Generation, and Baywatch. Damon retired from the entertainment industry in 2006 to work as a real estate agent. Last but not least, let's take a look at Peter Weller, who was the lead role as Alex Murphy, aka Robocop. Peter Weller, Alex Murphy. When Detroit police officer Alex Murphy is killed in the line of duty, he is resurrected by Omni Consumer Products as the cyborg Robocop, half man, half machine, all cop. It's kind of unfair that actor Peter Weller is not only Robocop, but also the lead in The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. For those Trekkers loving Ronnie Cox in Star Trek The Next Generation, Weller was John Frederick Paxton in Star Trek Enterprise, as well as Admiral Marcus in the 2013 reboot sequel, Star Trek Into Darkness. Weller played Christopher Henderson on 24, and Stan Liddy on Showtime's Dexter. In the FX series Sons of Anarchy, he played Charles Charlie Borowski, and Dr. Paul Velik in the 2017 TNT series The Last Ship. In 2014, Weller received a PhD in Italian Renaissance art history and Roman history. Today, Weller is still doing voice work on different animated shows, and you can watch him hosting documentaries on the History Channel. If you liked today's video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel. Then, hit that notification bell icon so you will know when the next video drops. Thank you, and we'll see you next time with our new video.